Hey friends, so you have completed part one of your EL assignment today, which was reading Venom, taking notes, writing your paraphrase, and recording your paraphrase in Flipgrid. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to read some sections in your animal behavior book, and you are going to be working to either find the main idea of the section or the supporting details of the section. I have already given you the main ideas for two and the supporting details for two. So you will just need to do the opposite, the work that I have not done for you. So if you could start by flipping, please, to page 22. Okay, you're going to read the section fleeing on page 22 through page 26. This is a long section. Okay, I'm going to read this aloud to you. You need to follow along as I read. Then when we're done, we'll read the next section and then the last section. So if you could flip to page 22, please, and go to fleeing. An animal without a burrow or other hiding place can choose between fight and flight. It can stand its ground and face a predator or make a quick getaway. Fighting may be used as a last resort. Fleeing is the first response to danger. Many long-legged hoofed animals literally run for their lives, relying on their sheer speed to escape. Horses, for example, can gallop at speeds of 30 miles per hour or more. Deer race away just as quick. The pronghorn of western North America grasslands can run about 50 miles per hour. A burst of speed may enable an animal to leave its pursuer in the dust. If the predator persists, however, many hoofed animals can run fast for several miles. A pronghorn can run at 35 miles per hour for about 4 miles. Running works well for speedy four-legged animals. It also serves some two-legged ones. The ostrich, the world's largest bird at 8 feet tall, cannot fly. Other than lions and jackals, a few animals prey on it. If pursued, an ostrich can outrun and outlast most predators. It can cruise at speeds up to 40 miles an hour and run at a slightly lower speed for 20 minutes or more. The ray, a flightless bird of South America, can also run swiftly and turn on a dime. Roadrunners of the southwestern United States deserts can fly but prefer to run. They can zip along at 18.6 miles an hour. The basilisk lizard normally gets around on 4 legs, but switches to 2 when it's threatened. The lizard lives in trees in the rainforests of Central America. When a predator creeps up on it, the basilisk drops out of the tree and lands in the water. Then it raises on its hind legs and runs across the surface of the water. The basilisk dashes about 15 feet in 3 seconds flat before dropping forward to swim with all 4 legs. A kangaroo can not run, but it can leap away from danger. A red kangaroo can hop at 20 miles an hour for long distances and 30 miles an hour for short distances. Some people have clocked red kangaroos going even faster. Grasshoppers and crickets leap to safety too. Beach hoppers, which are related to pill bugs, pop into the air by snapping their abdomens and pushing with 4 of their hind legs. Swimming, slithering, climbing, and flying from danger all work just as well as running and jumping. An octopus, for example, escapes predators by filling its body with water, then pushing the water through a tube-like body part called a siphon. This motion, called jetting, lets octopus scoot away quickly in any direction. As it jets away, it emits a cloud of ink to hide its escape and further confuse its pursuer. Shellfish, called scallops, also jet away from danger. When a scallop senses that a sea star is near, it opens and shuts its shell, forcing jets of water that scoot it away. Another ocean creature, the flying fish, escapes predators by swimming quickly just under the water surface, then streaking up and out of the water while stretching out a pair of wing-like fins, and sails through the air for up to 20 seconds before diving back into the water. Page 25. Some animals roll away from danger. Wheel spiders, which live in Africa's Namib Desert, start their escape from predatory wasps by running. Then they suddenly fold their legs and flip sideways to roll down sand dunes like wheels. They can roll at speeds of about 3 feet per second. The caterpillar of the mother of pearl moth also goes for a spin to escape by curling into a circle and then pushing off. A species of mantis shrimp found in some Pacific shores rolls up and pushes itself along in a series of backward somersaults. Many predators, however, also have speed on their side. Their prey must often use their other tactics besides pure speed to make their escape. One way to make a pursuer work harder is to zigzag. A rabbit running from a coyote, for example, does not run endlessly in a straight line. Instead, it dodges back and forth, forcing the coyote to change direction and make sharp turns, too. Zigzagging is easier for a rabbit, which is small, than for a larger coyote. The coyote also cannot tell when the rabbit will dodge this way or that, so it cannot plan its next move. In this way, the rabbit makes the chase more difficult and tiring for the coyote. Though a coyote may still succeed in catching its prey, there is a chance that it may tire out, give up, or go for an easier meal. Other animals also dart and dash when chased. A herd of impala, slender antelopes of African grasslands, not only run from a predator, but also zigzag in all directions. Impala also leap over each other as they run, sometimes springing as high as 10 feet into the air. This explosion of activity startles and confuses the predator. It also makes it difficult for a predator to chase any one animal. Zigzagging mixed with freezing can confuse predators too. Frogs and grasshoppers will jump in one direction, then freeze, only to pop off in another direction if the predator comes near. A predator may not be able to focus on its prey with all the unexpected starts and stops. Likewise, a cottontail rabbit may go from zigzagging to freezing as it flees. When it runs, it flashes its puffy white tail like a target. When it freezes, it sits on its tail. The predator may lose track of the rabbit because its tail has vanished. Okay, what I think the smartest thing to do right now, friends, is now that we've read that section, to go in your module workbook to page 21. It looks like this. Okay, so what I've done is I've given you the main idea. An animal that doesn't, and actually for this section there's two. So the first one is an animal that doesn't have a place to hide will quickly move away from its predator to protect itself rather than to fight it. So your job is to look back on those pages, 22 through 26, and find things that prove this main idea. I want you to find two things that prove that main idea, and I want you to type them here, okay? Do the same thing with this one now. Speed doesn't always work because many predators are also fast, so some animals use other tactics to escape. So think about the dodging and the freezing. And I want you to find the words that the text says, and I want you to put them here. You have to have proof from the text. Those are called your supporting details. And if you look, you can see I did the ones below, which we'll do next. I actually wrote the page number, the title of the book, and I wrote the exact words in quotation marks to prove that those are the words that it said in the text that prove my main idea, which you will find. Okay, so that's what you need to do now. Go ahead and find your supporting details for those two sections. Then when you're done, I want you to unpause and I want you to come back and we're going to read Scale, Scutes, and Skin on pages 56 through 58 of your animal behavior book. Repeat the process with the next two sections. Okay, friends, so the next thing we're going to work on today is, sorry, I'm looking at the right thing. We're going to read pages 49 through 52 in your module or in your animal behavior book. Okay, so let me share my screen. This is so not going to work, guys. Okay, here we go. I was already sharing, wasn't I? Okay, so you'll open to page 49 of your animal behavior book. Scales, scutes, and skin. Tough skin and scales may be unusual in snails. However, they are typical armor for many other animals. Armadillos, for example, are armor-plated mammals that live in Central and South America, as well as in parts of the southern United States. Their name, which means little armored one in Spanish, refers to their bony armor. Scientists call the armadillo's armor a carapace. The carapace is made up of bony plates arranged in bands around the armadillo's body. The plates are covered by tough skin. Each bony band is separated from the ones next to it by a band of skin, allowing the armadillo to flex its body. The armadillo found in the United States is called the nine-banded armadillo. It covers its head, body, legs, and tail. Its armor covers its head, body, legs, and tail. Only its belly and ears are unprotected. If a coyote or other predator threatens it, a nine-banded armadillo's first defense is to flee. It zigzags and runs away. If it cannot run away, it digs in with its claws. It burrows into the ground in less than 2 minutes. The predator may pull on the armadillo's tail to yank it out. Sorry, I'm going to switch my screen. There we go. To yank it out. Sorry, I lost my place, y'all. Of the burrow. Got it. This won't work because the armadillo hangs on with its claws. Its bony bands also help wedge it in place. A nine-banded armadillo can also hunker down so that its carapace touches the ground. Then it can pull in its nose and feet. Playing dead or leaping abruptly into the air are other defenses. It can also curl its body slightly so that its nose and tail touch, though it cannot roll up into a ball. The nine-banded armadillo is about the size of a cat. The pink fairy armadillo is much smaller, about as long as a dollar bill, but it is also a mighty digger. Like its larger cousin, it can swiftly dig a burrow when danger threatens. It runs into the burrow head first and plunges with the opening with a plate of armor that covers its hind end. The three-banded armadillo is the only armadillo that can roll itself up so tightly that it looks like a scaly croquet ball. This armadillo can also unroll slightly to peek out and see if its attacker is still there. If the attacker comes close to investigate, the armadillo quickly slams its carapace shut again, an action that sometimes nips the attacker's nose. In parts of Africa and Asia, scaly mammals called pangolins rely on protective body armor for defense too. A pangolin is a long-tailed ant-eating nocturnal animal covered in a heavy coat of thick overlapping scales. Only its belly and part of its face are exposed. Unlike armadillos, all species of pangolin are able to roll into a tight ball. The scales also stand on edge so that they resemble spikes. If a predator pokes its nose between the scales, the pangolin can move so that the sharp scales pinch. All the while, glands under the pangolin's tail produce a bad-smelling fluid. I'm at the top of page 52. Animal armor also includes the bony scales of a fish. Fish scales overlap to form a flexible but strong covering. The squared-off bodies of boxfish have scales that link together to make a bony suit of armor. A boxfish's tail, fins, eyes, and mouth stick out of the box. Sharks have skin covered with tiny sharp teeth called skin teeth, or dermal denticles. The denticles make the skin as rough as sandpaper. A shark's skin is like a strong but flexible suit of chainmail. A great white shark's skin is so dense with denticles that it even helps protect it from the bites of other sharks. Crocodiles and alligators also have armor-like skin. Like other reptiles, they have tough horn-like scales in their skin. Unlike most other reptiles, they also have strong bony plates embedded in the skin. A rhinoceros does not have scales, but it does have thick skin. A rhino's skin ranges from about 3/4 of an inch deep in some places to nearly 2 inches on its shoulders. This helps protect a rhino from a predator's fangs and claws. A rhino also has formidable horn. The only rhino likely to be attacked by a predator is an unguarded calf. So the next thing you need to do is you need to go back to your module workbook and flip to page 22. And I have given you the main idea. I've given you the supporting details here on page 22. Okay, so these are 2 supporting details. Now you need to tell me what main idea do these supporting details prove, and you're going to write it in right here on your module workbook on page 22. I want you to pause and do that, and once you're done, unpause the video, and we will continue on with pages 56 through 58 of your animal behavior book. Okay, now we're on page 56, a poisonous prey. A poisonous animal has poison in its body. It does not typically have a special body part, such as a sting for injecting the poison. Instead, a predator comes in contact with the poison when it is seizing or eats the poisonous animal. Sometimes the predator learns its mistake while eating its prey or even after it has swallowed it. A bird that grabs the poisonous monarch butterfly will get a taste of the poison. There is often enough to make the bird drop the monarch. The bird learns that a monarch is an unpleasant meal, and the monarch escapes. If the bird swallows the monarch, it regrets it. The monarch's poison does not kill the bird, but it does make the bird feel sick and throw up. Most birds remember this lesson for a long time and do not attempt to catch monarchs again. Scientists have found that the mere sight of the monarch causes these educated birds to gag and retch as if they were about to be sick. Many poisonous animals produce foul fluids that cling to the predator to entrap it. The pill millipede, for example, oozes sticky droplets when it is attacked. The droplets stick to the predator, such as ants. As the ants frantically try to clean off the fluid, they gum themselves up even more. Meanwhile, the millipede escapes. A spider that eats a pill millipede will be paralyzed for several days. The poison can even affect birds and mice. Some animals' poison can kill predators. A few species of millipedes, for example, ooze droplets that release a poisonous gas called hydrogen cyanide. Shutting one of these millipedes in a jar with other small living things will cause the animals to die from the fumes. The poison gas made by just one millipede can kill more than 6 mice. Toads that seize such a millipede quickly spit it out. Some beetle larvae, centipedes, moths, and caterpillars also make hydrogen cyanide. Poison dart frogs, also called poison arrow frogs, which live in Central and South America, excrete a poisonous, foul-tasting fluid from their skin when threatened. Some of these tiny frogs, which are small enough to perch on a quarter, produce poison strong enough to kill predators. In fact, they received their name from the fact that some natives carefully extract the frog's poison and coat the tips or darts of their arrows with it just to catch and kill other animals. The most toxic is the golden frog. Just one drop of poison can kill thousands of mice. Page 58. Of course, if a poisonous animal had a choice, it would rather not be attacked in the first place. It is better for it to stop an attack before it starts. A poisonous animal does this with warning colors, foul tastes, bad smells, irritating chemicals, and sometimes sounds. So what you need to do now is you need to go back to your module workbook, and I have given you, again, the supporting details for this section. And you need to tell me these 2 supporting details that I've given you, what main idea do they support? You're going to write that on page 22 of your module workbook under the bottom section, Poisonous Prey. Once you are done, I want you to come back to the video and we're going to finish up. Okay, so you now are we're going to quick look at these words. So fleeing means getting away. Pursue means go for something. If you're going to pursue something, like you're hoping to get there, or you're working to get there. So in this instance, we're talking about animals. So an animal might pursue another animal trying to catch it to eat it. We know armor is that it's what keeps animals safe on the outside. Not all animals, but some. Threaten means to make something unsafe. And we know what poison is. We've talked about that. And a predator is an animal that's going after another animal to eat it. There's also a glossary, y'all, in the back of your animal behavior book. It is on page 124. And there are actual real definitions in there as well. I just kind of put them in my own words. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is you are going to see if you have answered any of those questions to what you want to know about animal defense mechanisms. And if you have, you're going to fill them in. Hey, Daniel, hang tight. You're going to fill them in on page 3 of your module workbook under the Evidence and Learned section. And when you're done with that, friends, then you are all done with the lesson. Thank you so much.